Well, greetings everyone. Today in this video we will talk about a Finnish beer. It's made by Stallhagen Brewery, which is a small craft brewery in Finland, which is on the Åland Islands of the southwest coast of Finland. The brewery was founded in 2004 as Ålands Bryggeri AB. And has had its current name Stallhagen AB since 2009. Åland Islands is a small archipelago between the southwestern coast of Finland and Sweden, and it is an autonomous region, much like Greenland for Denmark. This Stallhagen Brewery, or Ålands Bryggeri, as it was until 2009, was the only brewery in Åland Islands before the founding of Open Water Brewery in 2016. And so, first 5 years from 2000 founding in 2004, it was Ålands Bryggeri AB, and then since 2009, the past 13 years, it has been called Stallhagen AB. On the Stallhagen production premises in the village of Grälsby in Finström is about 18 or so kilometers from Marienhamn, which is the capital of the autonomous Åland Islands region. And there's also near the or on the premises of the brewery, there's also pub Stallhagen, which serves as a pub, a restaurant, and event center. There's about 50,000 or so visitors per year in the pub, so it's one of the most popular tourist destinations in Åland Islands. So out of Stallhagen's 23 different beers, today I will be covering their Baltic Porter, which is a subcategory under the broader category of porter style beers, which was developed in England in early 18th century. It's well hopped, and the color is dark or almost black in many porters, and it's owes to the usage of brown malt. And the name was originated from the working class people in England of the time in the 18th century, and porters or carriers, which were kind of type of people who were carrying other people's property, and it was significantly very significantly large, and it was the first, at least some say, at least according to some sources, it was the first beer to be brewed around the world consistently, and the production by the end of the 18th century, the production had started in North America, Sweden, Russia, and Ireland, among others. Oftentimes, stout and porter as terms have been used interchangeably, but the name stout, which is also a dark beer, for example, Guinness, is the Irish beer, is a good example of stout. Came about because the stronger porters were marketed as stout porters and later being just stout. Initially, the Guinness Extra Stout was called Extra Superior Porter, but eventually became Extra Stout in around 1840. Today, breweries use them almost interchangeably to describe certain types of dark beers, which are typically they are very, quite similar actually in texture, taste, the bubbliness of the beer. So the Baltic Porter from Stallhagen. Well, uh, as mentioned, um, stout type of beer, kind of is sort of an offspring, if you will, from the original 18th century um, porter beers. So Baltic beer is a version of source from imperial stouts that originated in the Baltic region in the 19th century. Originally, imperial stout or Russian imperial stout was manufactured in England and then imported to the Russian Tsar's court. They were they started ex exporting the imperial stout from the UK in 18th century, towards the end of the 18th century and 19th centuries, into the 19th century. They these different there started to be some variation within the imperial stouts in the Baltic Sea countries. Um, so there were some locally created Baltic porters or stout or imperial variations of imperial stouts using local ingredients and brewing traditions of the Baltic region, namely Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, and so forth, and also Finland. The early versions of the Baltic Porter were uh, warm fermented as opposed to cold fermented that many beers are manufactured these days. When the early versions were warm fermented in the late 19th century, when a lot of these breweries started to brew their porters in using the cold fermentation method, the same. So technically, the Baltic porters became lagers, but still, as they owe to their style being porters, they are still considered uh, porters. These Baltic Porter kind of beers are nowadays, as I said, produced in the Baltic Sea region. That would mean that these are produced in several countries, um, including Finland, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, the Czech Republic, Germany, Poland, Russia, Denmark, Sweden, and in addition to these Baltic countries, Ukraine and the United States. The Sinebryggov brewery in Finland has been brewing these Baltic porter type beers since the 1860s, but our focus today is on the Stallhagen Baltic Porter, which has been brewed by the company Stallhagen AB since 2004. And among their catalog are 23 beers, which include pale ale, Indian pale ale, Nordic beers, ales, etc., etc. So they have, and then dark beers, of course. Anyway, I do not have the authentic Stallhagen glass with me available. Maybe I should get it sometime in the future, but I will provide the picture of the bottle and the correct glass up here. And the color, as you can see, is very dark, black almost. Very thick, full-bodied, almost sweet. Not very sweet, but sweet altogether, and a bit bitter. As some porters are a bit bitter, but it's quite full-bodied and sweet. It has 7% alcohol by volume, or ABV, which is typical for a porter, which can be up to 10% alcohol, and imperial stouts even further. I have in my cabinet, I have a can of imperial stout that I acquired from I think it was Denmark, and that one has 12% of alcohol ABV. So that's quite a bit. And for that, I will make a video about that particular imperial stout at some point. I don't know when, but at some point, because I just want to preserve it, really. I don't know. I don't want to waste it, if you will, or drink it at the wrong moment and not make a video about it. Okay, but without further ado, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.